Hello and welcome to Coach's Decision, a weekly talk show where we talk sports from the Bay Area and beyond. My name is Thomas Todd. I'm joined here in the KSCO studio. Sitting across from me, he was demoted, he was traded, but now he will captain the KSCO All-Star team. It's Chad Oakland-Jolett, everybody! Hello, Chad.
I like to clap for myself.
We're going to talk about John Scott because I know you love goons and enforcers and internet rigging of important events. But first, a few quick reminders. You can always find this show on iTunes by searching the name Coach's Decision. Same thing for YouTube. Thanks to Producer Tory for keeping those up to date. Also, our website, coachesdecisionksco.com. Check out our NFL picks there. You can click through on our site and buy some amazing merchandise from our partners, fanatics.com and fansedge.com. Remember to click through before you buy that Draymond Green jersey for me. That's coachesdecisionksco.com. Click through to Fans Edge and fanatics.com and get hooked up with some cheap, awesome sports merchandise. John Scott changed teams, but will still be a captain of the NHL All-Star Game.
It's questionable because there is a rule that says that he's not even in the same conference anymore, and he's in the AHL. So the AHL is the minor leagues. He got immediately demoted upon being traded. One of the rules, you have to be on a current NHL roster.
It's usually not a problem.
Yeah, it's usually not a problem because, it's not a guy who scored 8 points over an illustrious 11-year career. So that's what John Scott's dealing with here. He's a goon. He's never on the ice. But here's the problem with it. The NHL, somebody got hurt. A real person got hurt, and that's John Scott, who the NHL found out, and the whole entire league and all the fans found out, has a baby due that just so happens to be due on All-Star night, who is set to get a $90,000 bonus if he made the All-Star game on All-Star night. The NHL didn't want him to represent the Arizona Coyotes. Neither did the Arizona Coyotes want them to represent themselves. So there was a trade that was made. A lot of people think it's pretty sleazy, and at the end of the day, the people picked John Scott to prove a point. And the NHL kind of spit that point right back at the people's face.
Do they not have young enough interns that know how Twitter works or how social media works? And also, babies are about as on time as intern Cassius. So, I'm not really going to count on that baby to be coming on the night of the All-Star game.
Nevertheless, uprooting a man away from his 8-month pregnant wife, it seems kind of extreme. And at least with me, I wonder who's looking into it from the NHLPA.
I'm going to give you a 15-year time frame. From the year 2000 until now, name 2 good things the NHL has done. Yeah.
Delayed offsides. That's one good thing. The shootout, maybe. 3-on-3 overtime. I mean, come on.
No, I miss ties. I liked ties.
I don't like ties. That's lame. If you go to a game and it's a tie, that's the least satisfying result of all time. Because we ended. You're walking out with the fans. Well, we were just as good.
But now you get an overtime loss and you still get a point.
That's better. Because then you have something to play for, but then on top of it, there's more to play for. Then it says, okay, in this 5 minutes, we can either get a point and lose a point. How often does it come down to 1 point for that 8th, 9th spot?
I think now that it's back to 3-on-3, it should go back to being able to tie. Because usually someone scores in that period, but if not...
Yeah, I think it's down to 30% go to shootout, or 20 to 30. The NHL got what they wanted, definitely, with the 3-on-3.
Yeah, I think they should allow ties back, but I'm not the biggest hockey fan. I'm a big internet fan. And them putting John Scott in the game was funny because even fans realized they've been given too much power for these games. These games decide people's careers. You say, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar made X number of All-Star games. He might be one of the greatest players ever because of that. This guy only made 7. He's not as high class of a... So these matter. These count to people's official records, Hall of Fame resumes, and, this how people make money.
And for a guy like John Scott, he didn't want to do it at the beginning. He really didn't. And then his family convinces him to. His 7-year-old daughter convinces him to do it and says it'd be such a great experience. And then he just gets it all pulled out from under him. And, once again... The one person who got hurt was the person the fans put there, and that does not feel good if you're a fan.
You ever see the Hudsucker Proxy?
No.
Okay, watch that movie, and he's basically Tim Robbins in the Hudsucker Proxy. So
all right.
It's a good Coen Brothers movie.
It'll probably be a good reference.
Okay, we're gonna move on to movies that were made after 1994. We're on a 17th sequel, or a 16th sequel, of a long movie we've been watching our whole lives, Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning.
Hobbled Peyton Manning.
The hobbled Peyton Manning. Brady Manning 17, this time it counts. I don't really know any other movie subtitle. Electric Boogaloo, I don't know what to do. But we're on number 17, and I did some digging for the segment on Monday I did with Intern Cassius, and I found in the last 10 years, it's been dead even. 5-5 since 2005 between the two
Overall?
of them. Overall. Manning's 2-1 against him in the AFC championship game and 2-2 overall in the playoffs. So Brady not as dominant against Manning as he once was early when he went 6-0, and Brady and Belichick did that. Belichick also 2-6 in Denver in his career with Brady. Are you starting to smell like the tides are turning on Tom and Bill?
I mean, it's bad because I really like the Patriots. I really like Tom Brady. I feel like I'm one of the only people who does.
But how much do those early victories by Brady color what we see of this rivalry? Because it's been even for a decade.
Tom Brady's the better quarterback. Tom Brady, in my opinion, always was the better quarterback because he always had the pedigree. He had the pedigree. He never lost. He was the golden boy. What else do you need from a quarterback? Peyton Manning was, he's kind of similar to Tim Duncan, where it's like, oh, he's good and he's going to get you all those yards. He's going to get you those dink and dunks. But for a while there, he was close to the best, if not the best. You can't say he wasn't the best, but he never was the best when it counted, except for 1 year. And that's always going to haunt him, and that's a really kind of cheap shot to take at his knees. But Tom Brady, you can't bet against him. It's kind of hard to when you saw what he did last year.
In the last 10 years, they're both 1-2 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that's true. That's something that's going to haunt Tom Brady for the rest of his life.
Winning four of six is great.
Yeah.
No, it's absolutely fantastic. But you start to get to the point where Brady became a prolific and elite passer. That's when he stopped winning as many Super Bowls. When he was winning them early, and his credit, because he played those games, and he played really well, but he wasn't the kind of elite gunning the ball down the field passer that he was with late era Randy Moss. So I just want the history to be known of what's actually happened between these two and get off Peyton Manning's back a little bit.
Yeah, shout out to the football gods too for making this happen one more time. Definitely.
One more time.
Hopefully a couple, but
Manning
at least one. At least one.
Brady's coming back next year.
Manning can come back and just be kind of the horse that kind of makes it go. He could throw 3-yard passes down the flat and do that all the way down.
God, those balls do not have much zip
they
on
don't
them
at
anymore.
all.
I watch a lot of Raiders games because they're on locally, and you watch Derek Carr just zipping the ball through coverage. Peyton Manning's passes look nothing like that.
Yeah, they're little ducks that float. Some of them are on the money though, but still, he's definitely having to labor a little bit.
Well, it's because you know how much of a mental game quarterback is, because Derek Carr's not that much better than Peyton Manning, but he has way more physical tools right now than Manning does.
Yeah, Derek Carr, it's going to be fun. Could say going to be fun to watch in our backyard, but that's another story for another day.
They're going to be in the backyard a little bit longer. Hopefully they don't trip and fall in the pool.
Yeah, hopefully.
When we're not looking. Another team I want to talk about, because they're in a state of, I'm not going to call it crisis, because crisis is a short, specific thing. This is 20 years of just absolute intolerable football decision making. The Cleveland Browns. They have two guys they're dealing with right now who are both putting them in really awkward positions. Johnny Manziel can't keep his act together, can't stop spitting future lyrics at clubs on camera, which is a crime, apparently, if you've been to rehab once. You can't go to clubs anymore. I don't know. And Josh Gordon, who's suspended indefinitely and now is applying for reinstatement to the league.
Wasn't he selling cars for a while?
I don't know, man.
I read that story once. Anyways, go on.
And he likes to smoke marijuana,
he does.
which is legal in so many states and so many places and will eventually be legal everywhere.
And clearly affects his ability to thought process as an NFL receiver.
It does.
He's making life-altering decisions out there.
Should the Browns want either of these guys back?
I don't think so. The Browns have so many problems. I don't think you can have character problems on top of that. If you can say at least our on-field product stays out of trouble. That's the least you can do if you're a football team.
Wow, congratulations, Browns. Nobody on your team went to jail.
Come on. What else you can... Johnny Manziel, it's not that bad. As you said, he went to a club. He is coming back from rehab. You don't want to see it, but he's a young guy. It's going to happen. Anyways, Johnny Manziel is obviously a cancer for that team. He can't do well in Cleveland. If he would have done well this year. I think he had his chance. He had his starting gig, and he kind of threw it away 2 times.
In the last 18 seasons, how many times have the Cleveland Browns made the playoffs?
I'm going to go with 0, maybe 1.
Once. That Derek Anderson year. Yeah. They lost to Pittsburgh in that weird playoff game where all of a sudden Kelly Holcomb's in the game. And you're like, well, who the heck's Kelly Holcomb?
I still don't know who Kelly Holcomb
is. We'll pull him up. We'll pull him up later in the show. Let's switch sports a little bit here. Got some basketball stories. The Cavs just lost to the Spurs. Then they lost to the Warriors. That's the top 3 teams in the NBA. And Cleveland's looking up at both of them and going, man, that was our best shot. We were all healthy. both teams, and they lost pretty convincingly, at least to the Warriors, and, a much closer game at San Antonio. Are you worried about the Cavs?
I mean, the only thing you're worried about is they don't have to go through the Spurs to get to the finals.
Or
they
the
have
Warriors,
a very, comparingly, in comparison, an easy road to the finals. But I mean, goodness, when you see, I think the play from that Warriors game is Steph Curry stealing the ball and LeBron just kind of giving the smirk, like, oh, come on, you're not going to say anything, when he's just running down the court with an easy layup. And I don't want to say the torch has been passed, but Steph Curry definitely looks like he's a little bit more in control than LeBron is as of right now.
When he's the human torch. The torch is Curry.
It's incredible because you see, I mean, Kyrie Irving, a phenomenal player, but you see him having to sprint out to the three-point line, and Steph Curry just gives him a pump fake, goes around, then all of a sudden he's got 3 options to pass, all 3 of whom, when you have Harrison Barnes and Andre Iguodala on the floor, can hit threes. Draymond, everyone on that team, it's just incredible how they all play such good roles.
So Kevin Love in the locker room after the Warriors game said, they need to pick up the pieces, but he said it all starts with the big guy over there. It all starts with LeBron. Do you think this is something LeBron has to undertake himself, or how much does he need to get Kyrie and Kevin Love involved? Because he couldn't beat the Warriors by himself last year.
From a play standpoint or from a mental standpoint?
From a mental standpoint, because that's what it looks like right now.
I mean, David Blatt's not going to be doing a whole lot of head coaching, if you want to be completely honest. I mean, did you see him that whole game? I don't think his facial expression changed one time while his team was getting pummeled.
The Jim Caldwell special, the blank expression on the sideline while being murdered.
Some gum, and what are you doing, David Blatt? Just face for LeBron James coaching that team. It's LeBron's team. And I think, one thing LeBron's good at, one thing that that he's going to do is he's going to have that team peaking at the right time. LeBron's smart enough to have them say, okay, well, we're obviously building up towards something, so let's peak in May. Let's not peak right now. And I think that's something LeBron has been good at throughout his career, and that's why he's been in the finals for the last 5-6 years?
Yeah, same thing with the Spurs. They know when to get it together, and it's usually, the playoffs.
Yeah, that's all you got to do is make it. And I mean, in the East, not that the East is that much worse than the West this year, but the East, I mean, the Cavs are going to make the playoffs. That's
I'm not worried about the Bulls or I'm going to go see the Pacers play the Warriors on Friday, and Paul George has played great, but they're not taking down the Cavs.
How about the Kings?
What about them?
Do you think if they sneak in the A spot, are they giving the Warriors any trouble? Or are they giving the number
Boogie
one?
Won't stay in the game.
Yeah.
Draymond will get him ejected. Draymond's goal every time they play is, I'm going to get under this guy's skin. I'm going to get him thrown out.
I don't know who said it, but I think it might have been Charles Barkley talking about DMC, or DeMarcus said that, if he had a coach, if he had a Pat Riley, if he had someone coaching him, that guy could be, a top 3 player, but thanks to him, the Sacramento Kings coaching him.
Yeah, and if I had $5, I'd be holding a latte right now, but I don't.
Yes, exactly.
And he doesn't have a coach.
Still interesting to think about.
Who wants to coach him, though?
That's true.
Who's going to volunteer to go, okay, first I want to go play for the Kings, who have Vivek, an owner who's kind of clueless, a front office team of Vlade Divac, who has no experience with transactions or money or contracts or anything, putting the team together. And then I have to coach like the most obnoxious and temperamental player in the NBA. Who's going to take that job?
Yeah, that's true. It's not very, and you're in the Warriors division. That's not very glamorous at all.
And you try to trade for Boogie, and I go, I will just take on this burden and hope it works out.
Take on the most technicals in the NBA.
Yeah.
No, it's not a good trade.
Well, I think it's one.
Take on John Scott, the biggest enforcer in the NHL.
Well, put him on the Kings, and then Boogie can relax a little bit.
He'll have someone protecting him out there.
Well, there's just I think it's a Bill Simmons theory, the knucklehead theory. One knucklehead's fine, but you have 2 knuckleheads, now they have someone to hang out with.
Yeah.
And I just worry, you get Boogie on a team with another knucklehead like Rajon Rondo.
Yeah.
And it gets combustive. So, I still love and will love watching Boogie, and I hope they don't get the Warriors, because I do think they might be able to pull off some kind of upset, but not the Warriors. They're the team that gave up the 37 points in a quarter to Klay Thompson.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking more, when the Lakers won it and the Thunder were the team that gave them the hard run in 6 games, something like that, where, the Spurs could kind of scare them a little bit.
Mm-hmm. That's the team that's scary, the Thunder, because if they could pull off, quote, peaking at the right time, Russell Westbrook's playing insane basketball right now, and Kevin Durant looks about 95%, of what he was before the injury.
Still a 6'11" jump shooter. You can't really guard him.
Yeah, I know. If he
He's still a freak.
If he gets that extra 5%, they're trouble. They've played some really fascinating games with the Warriors over the past few seasons and haven't played them at all this year.
Yeah, that's the other thing. They haven't played them or the Spurs yet. Well,
it's such a weird schedule. I don't know how it got so backloaded with like the top teams. Even the Cavs, they didn't see till Christmas and then just saw them again.
Should be interesting though. The Warriors, and it's not like the Warriors are afraid. I love Steph Curry, how confident he was with that champagne quote about Cleveland. I saw that. I said, well, you better win.
Well, and the Bulls came back with, the Warriors just trounced them in Chicago. But the Bulls players, all the guys from the 72-win team are saying, oh, we're going to be popping champagne when they lose that 11th game.
Yeah, I mean, rightfully so. That's a record that doesn't get challenged all that often. So it's not like the guys from the Dolphins doing it every year when the last team loses a game.
They need to order a bottle of the Mercury Morris Reserve stock.
They need something.
How much of Mercury could he charge for that? Because those Bulls guys have some money, so they'd probably pay top dollar.
I mean, I feel like it's kind of top heavy. I feel like the guy at the top has quite a bit, and everyone else has a little bit less.
All right, one more quick story, and then we're going to bring on Cassius Greneau for a surprise segment. Coach K skipped out on some handshakes after a Duke loss to Syracuse. Did you see this?
I did not see this.
So he kind of dipped out and didn't shake he hit the coaching staff, but didn't stay and shake all the players' hands. And this kind of caused some furor. People hate Duke, so they just assume Duke is evil. But actually, Jim Boeheim, the opposing coach of Syracuse, came out and said, you know what actually was happening? Coach K was out trying to calm his fans down because they were yelling insults at the Syracuse players, and he thought it was inappropriate.
Yeah, I mean...
does it sound like too much bluster to you? Coach K is a nice guy, right?
Yeah, Coach K is a nice guy. He comes off that way. You want to give him the benefit of the doubt. And, I mean, as a guy who's like Duke for, their fundamentals my whole life, no, just a kid who's like Duke, definitely want to go with Coach K on this one.
Okay, good. I'm with him, too. I love Coach K. I'm a big Tom Izzo fan, Michigan State. So, I like good college coaches, and Coach K is definitely one of them. Speaking of good things, Cassius Greneau on time today.
Hey, I'm doing my best.
You were early. You beat me into the studio.
It's all about dedication, putting in those extra hours.
Oh, please.
I'm not talented. I'm obsessed.
You're fired. You're fired is what you are. So I had Cassius prepare a segment today. I don't know what it is, but I wanted him to come on and spend 7 to 10 minutes talking to us about something and then having us yell at him about it. So what do you got today?
Okay. Well, I have just one of the most controversial topics ever. Top 10.
About Lance Armstrong?
That's not controversial.
I'll freak out.
This is about Lance Armstrong.
What?
Don't even bring it up.
Dude, he's the best guy on drugs. That's what counts, right?
Yep. I thought that was like Dr. Dre. Gets a little green in him, makes some sick beats.
He's definitely on roids, too.
Makes
Dr. Dre.
Dr. Dre. He's getting
so thick.
He's getting shredded.
Huge guy.
Performance enhancer for the rap game.
For the DJing. He can, cut way faster,
He can carry all of his turntables now.
Yeah, so super controversial topic, not Lance Armstrong, but top 10 NBA players of all time.
Oh, good. We were just talking about Steph Curry.
That's top 5 rappers,
Dylan.
Dylan. So number 1.
Oh, no, don't start with number 1.
What?
You don't start with number 1.
Go 10.
Go 10?
You start with 10, and then we abuse you, yeah.
Okay. Well, number 10, Larry Bird.
That's kind of low.
You think?
For a Boston fan, I expected you to have Larry Bird in the top 5.
Oh, there's another Boston guy. A little higher.
Oh, there's another Boston guy a little higher. Is he similarly colored to you?
Oh, yes. Yes. But, I almost think that I gave Larry Bird a little affirmative action.
You needed a white guy on the list?
I'm not going to say. I can neither confirm nor deny any such allegation.
All right, I like Larry Bird right there. I think he should be a little higher. He one of the best shooters of all time.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a fact.
What do you got?
For number 9?
Yeah.
Okay, this is, if you look at basketball like art, Allen Iverson, number 9.
Allen Iverson.
Fair.
Recency bias. The man shot 38% for his career.
But it's art. It's art. You're talking about art, and you're talking about...
No, we're talking about sports.
I just want to say that you put him ahead of Larry Bird. Just thinking.
I did do that. I did put him ahead.
I mean, I'm definitely okay with AI being on the list, but I don't know.
Can you be late next time?
I don't know about ahead of Larry Bird, though.
No, but he was the first person to take the crossover outside of the box.
Okay.
Fact.
Okay.
And now everybody in the league does that.
And one of the 7th or 8th people to travel a lot while playing basketball.
I know.
And
that has elevated the game. Now James Harden can be a star. as a result of Allen Iverson.
I know, because James Harden, number 7.
Oh, no, God, no.
Who's number
God,
8?
So number 8, I have Shaquille.
Shaq.
Yeah, that's fair.
He's
Super
definitely
solid.
one of the 3 or 4 best centers of all time.
Yeah.
So we'll
But
see.
he's like also, what is he on the all-time scoring list? Like number 4?
Yeah,
He's up
He's
there.
like super high.
He was a machine. He averaged
Yeah.
over 30 points.
Yeah.
And 11 rebounds in seasons. That's crazy. You know he never led the league in rebounding?
Shaq never did.
Never, not once. Never led the league in blocks. Never led the league in rebounding.
Who was leading in his...
Well, I mean,
Just
that's when
bunch of other people.
centers dominated the NBA, though.
Yeah, but also he wasn't trying.
Yeah, also, Shaq was just so good. He's like, I can play alongside.
That's the scary part of Shaq. He mostly just played offense. For a while, when Kobe was good, he was running 3-point line to 3-point line. Like, okay, guys, moving on.
He's
a big man.
Very genetically gifted.
Okay, keep going.
Okay, so number 7, I have Wilt Chamberlain.
Speaking of automatic, guaranteed 40 points whenever
Yeah,
he wanted
yeah.
to, or 50, 60, 70, didn't really matter.
Only player to break 100.
Only player to break 100. He did get dominated in the finals a lot by someone who's
that's
much
why
higher
he's
on your
lower.
list
Yeah.
and who looks like a really old version of you.
It's funny because I think I know who you were thinking of.
Can't argue with Wilt.
Okay, so we like that?
Yes.
7? Wilt? Okay. I know you guys are going to get crazy
Oh,
about
no.
this. Number 6, Kobe.
Kobe?
Kobe, okay.
I might put him higher, honestly,
Higher?
but that's me.
Higher? And now I know you're going to get crazy.
Okay, keep
Ready?
going.
Above Kobe.
You Vince
One
Carter?
above
Tracy McGrady.
Vince Carter, Tracy McGrady. No. Number 5, LeBron.
That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous?
That's absolutely
Ridiculous?
absurd.
How? How's that absurd?
That's absurd because Steph Curry has half as many titles as LeBron James.
Oh,
Yeah,
nasty.
And Kobe
MVPs,
Bryant has 2.5
MVPs.
times.
MVPs.
It doesn't matter.
And consistently making it to the finals.
How many regular
and-
season MVPs does Peyton Manning have? How many regular season passing yards?
listen.
Who's better, him or Tom Brady?
Stephen Curry has
Same
always
thing.
had weapons.
Well, no,
I mean,
what?
always had weapons when he's been successful.
Yeah, but so has LeBron James. LeBron James
Cavaliers, he got that team.
Didn't
to
win
the
any
playoffs.
titles, though.
He didn't,
know,
he
but he
didn't
got
win
to
a
the
title
playoffs.
till he went and played with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. He formed a super team.
He went and took less money and formed a super team.
And that's
still,
it's admirable.
coming in-
I don't mind that.
And I
coming in
still
at 18
absolutely agree with Cassius.
You agree with me?
I absolutely agree. LeBron James is the top 5 all-time player.
I don't
Yeah.
think so.
Oh.
I don't think he is if you're not saying Kobe is.
He is Scottie Pippen on steroids. And Scottie Pippen's
Straight
one of
up.
the 50 best NBA players of all time. Maybe
On
falling
to-
down a
he's-
little bit as more players.
Does
come into the
Kobe's
league.
clutch does that make him better? Does that put you up in
Kobe's
his
clutch?
Kobe's clutch? What are you talking about?
Okay, whatever. Just
You can
move
go
on,
look at
move
stats.
on, move on.
You can go look at stats. for
Yeah,
that.
crunch time stats don't favor Kobe as much as the eye test does.
That's true.
Yeah.
Because he took all of
All
those
the shots.
shots.
That's
He's
true.
always the
Very
go-to.
good.
You
So
know.
if you take enough shots, obviously you're going to make them.
You know, and LeBron's been there in big moments too. That game against the Pistons early in his career, he scored like 27 to 28.
The only
Yeah,
shot,
but
the only
LeBron's
shot I remember with
distinct-
LeBron's the one against the Magic.
Oh, the one off the backboard.
Yeah.
I remember.
LeBron's
that
kind of
too.
distinctly unclutch. I will say that.
Yeah.
Okay, keep
I will say that.
going.
Okay, so 4, Magic Johnson.
Oh, our top point guard probably of all time.
Yeah.
Unless
And there
you-
was just nothing like him. And still, to this point, I don't think there's been anything
no,
like him.
no, there's
6'9",
6'9" point guards
Yeah.
who have the court vision better than anyone else in the history of the game.
But you know what? You know who I think maybe will be this next Magic Johnson?
Who?
Ben Simmons.
I was going to say Giannis Antetokounmpo.
Antetokounmpo? No. His handle's too loose. It's nice, but it's too loose.
You think Ben? You're
Dude, Ben
putting
Simmons
Ben.
has
Si-
the vi-
is
has
he your
the
number
vision.
11?
He just hasn't proved it yet. But
Okay.
he's walking there.
He also pulls a lot of rebounds too, which is good. And Magic can do that, sliding in for.
Did Magic
the
have a
injured
jump shot?
Kareem. No, but you didn't need a jump shot back then.
Yeah.
He got to the lane and he got James Worthy wide open dunks.
Yeah.
James Worthy's still buying him dinner. All right, number 3.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
I never know what to do with him.
It's hard to guard. It's
Dude,
hard
just
to rate
all-
big men from back then.
Did
It
he
really
play
is.
defense
But
at all?
all-time highest, most points. All-time
Yeah,
most points.
I know, because he invented a trick shot that no one's been able to replicate.
So what is that's not you're not saying that's not
No,
worth
I know.
anything?
He's fantastic, and he had such a long career.
You throw him in the NBA today, he's not doing the same thing.
Absolutely.
End of story.
You throw him in the
Absolutely.
NBA today, he's Yijin Lan.
Yeah, and that's something where kind of makes you cringe to put him over a guy like Shaq, who was so dominant in an NBA that was so much better than the NBA he played in.
Yeah, but
You
just-
think you should do inflation for the league?
There's no way to do it that I've found, at least. I mean, unless there's some crazy advanced stats you
Algorithm,
can do.
yeah.
the distance between Kareem's titles, though, the early one he won in Milwaukee, and then with the Showtime Lakers, that's tough for anyone to match.
Yeah.
Usually guys win titles in their peak, or Duncan has kind of spread it out over
Dude,
time.
He was just effective over time.
I know. I worry about his defense though. I might put him over Shaq.
Over Shaq?
Okay, now I know your top two, but I don't know what order they're in.
Okay,
One of them's Michael Jordan, one of them's Bill Russell.
Yeah.
You probably have Michael Jordan number one.
I do.
Okay.
And I have Bill Russell as number two.
I do as well. As far as MJ goes, he's the GOAT. He's the greatest of all time.
2 3-peats, man.
Took teams on his back.
And left. And left in between.
Yeah. Took every team he had on his back. Had Scottie Pippen, but didn't have much of a supporting cast as far as superstars or
Kerr.
anything.
Bombing threes.
Steve Kerr, bombing threes. Horace Grant was great for a few seasons there. And Bill Russell, he might be the hardest player to judge. He might be the hardest player to judge, period, because you had to see what he did defensively to change the game.
Yeah.
There was no three-point shot back then. People were all trying to play near the basket, and he just sent balls the other direction into his teammates' hands for easy baskets. Like, that was his whole job.
Dude, also, I give Bill Russell the credit for, he was playing when racism was still, a huge thing. He would say...
Wow, is racism not a huge thing now,
Oh, my God. That's so terrible.
You're fired.
No. But I'm saying, he would stay in a different hotel as the rest of the team. For points in his career.
Yeah, I mean...
So, I just think the fact that he dominated 11 championships with that is, I give him a little extra.
Okay, I never do this, but we're gonna take a caller real quick. Tim from Santa Cruz, you're on the line. What's up?
Hey guys, love your show. I just call you the betting edge on this. So, you guys, what happened in the first round of the NFL playoffs? What anomaly happened in the first weekend of the NFL playoffs?
The 4 road teams all won.
And this is what's going to be this next weekend. The 2 road teams are going to win.
Okay.
And the only thing you to watch out for is that the over and under, and that's going to be on the New England Denver game.
Mm-hmm.
It's 44.5 over and under, so it's going to be 28-17. So that's right at 45. I would stay away from that bet.
Okay.
But you can bet your butts that the Arizona will win, and New England's just going to clean up on Peyton Manning. That guy should retire.
Okay.
But,
well, you're going to lead us into our NFL picks perfectly, because that means we're going to bring on Daniel Zarchi. We got a nickel's worth of free advice that we totally didn't want. Are you there, Danny?
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, how's it going? So we're going to get your picks. We've got Tim from Santa Cruz's picks. I think he has a gambling problem. He wants me to bet my butt. And I don't know if any of you guys seen my butt. That's what's called a lump sum. Because it's pretty big. Danny, you're a lawyer now.
I am.
And you've actually started practicing.
I have.
And we're talking about practice now.
Practice?
Practice. I'm proud of you,
We're
buddy.
not talking about the case. Thank you, man.
All right, well, Danny's going to take some time out of his busy schedule to join us for NFL picks. Cassius, I'd like to thank you for your segment, man. That was really fun. I'm going to darken your doorway because we don't care about your NFL picks. Thank you to Cassius Greneau, though, for coming on the show today. I am going to also turn on the microphone of producer Tory, who's going to join us and give us a quick recap of how we are doing and if, and only if, Thomas can win the picks title for the season.
You can win. It's just going to be real tough.
I have to pick 3 games right, and you have to pick 3 games wrong.
That's
Crazier things have happened.
So just make her pick first, pick opposite, because if you pick the same ones, is it over?
Oh man.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't like the gamesmanship of that.
I'm sorry.
Danny's a lot closer to catching you than me. Right?
Yeah, Danny and I are pretty close. It's one game can make or break either of us during the championships. And that's enough
See,
for
I don't
it.
feel good about either of these games, so...
I feel pretty good about one of them.
That's sad.
But in order for Thomas to win, there are a couple of scenarios. I have to lose everything, Danny has to lose almost everything, and Thomas has to get every game right.
You mean like you'll lose your computer and your purse and your phone?
Job.
Yes.
Your dignity.
Well, I lost my dignity long ago.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll give it back to you anytime. Just swing by.
Gross.
Yeah, that was gross. I'm sorry. So we're going to make some picks now because I want Danny to catch you. If I can't catch you, I want him to catch you because you already won our fantasy football league.
You're still salty about that.
No first-timer should ever win.
It's a fact.
I would just like to point out that I was not invited into this fantasy.
You
football
don't
league,
work at
and
Woodstock.
Maybe that's why.
You're a lawyer.
don't,
Be in
but-
a lawyer league.
The Lincoln Lawyer
maybe
League.
That's why. Maybe that's why she won. I might have taken her down.
Yeah, be in the Lincoln Lawyer League. What
How
she
did
said.
no one at Woodstocks have Cardinals as their defense? That's what won it for me in the last
'Cause
few
you
games.
drafted them.
No, I picked them up
Oh,
way
you picked
late.
them up? Ugh. Idiots. Idiot delivery drivers.
And then
Okay.
they got me 33 points in one
Pick
game.
time. Danny, you're going to go last because you said you're waffling, so I'm going to let you hang out in the breeze a little longer. Tory, we're going to talk Broncos, Patriots first. Sigh.
Broncos defense is amazing.
Yes.
First against the pass.
Yes.
Third against the run.
Yes.
Fourth in scoring.
No. I mean, yes, but yeah, continue.
But Peyton Manning has thrown more interceptions than touchdowns this season.
By a lot.
Yeah,
it's
by
like
a
9 and
lot.
7, 9 touchdowns, 17 picks.
I just don't think the defense
really?
can carry him through a game against the Pats like this.
So it's-
Not when the Pats are healthy. Edelman's supposed to be back. Gronk is back. It's just not going to happen.
You're going to lay the 3.5 points.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Danny.
I thought you said I was going last.
Okay, I'll go. I'm taking the Broncos. Unpopular.
I'm also taking the Broncos.
Okay, unpopular opinion alert. I think the Broncos win this game at home. Brady and Belichick are 2-6 career in Denver. I know not all of that's against Manning. They did lose in overtime there earlier this year. Both teams kind of had a different complexion then. But I am going to take Denver. And I don't feel great about it, but I feel actually pretty good. I played the game out in my mind, and it just looks like Broncos. Danny, what's your reasoning?
I just think that the Broncos. I think the Broncos hang in this game. I don't think they necessarily win, but I think what you're going to see is a tie game that gets decided by a field goal. And if you look at what the Patriots have done this year, they haven't really put the pedal to the metal and stepped on the throat or whatever terrible analogy you want to do, but they've kind of backed off and played conservatively when they're winning, which is kind of the opposite of what everybody thought they were going to do. And the Broncos defense, Broncos defense kind of gets thrown into the ends of sentences or, the beginning of sentences with a but. Like, well, the Broncos defense is really good, but Peyton Manning is not good enough for it. Peyton Manning is enough, even though this defense is really good, but they're really good. They could win this game on their own. And Peyton Manning as a game manager is going to be enough.
Okay, Chad, I want to throw this to you, a question I've had, because I've been watching all the press this week for this game. Do you think the Broncos are chirping too much? Calling Tom Brady a crybaby?
I mean, yes and no. They definitely need some kind of edge because they're obviously lacking a little bit in that department.
But do they need to create an edge for the Patriots by giving them something to put on, the bulletin board, as they say?
I think right now, yeah. I think they need to do something. I think if they sit there and then come out and Tom Brady just torches them, it's going to look like they didn't try.
So for me, it's like Antonio Smith or whatever his name is, and I'm like, I don't know you.
Yeah, that's true.
If it's
kind
DeMarcus
of like when the
Ware-
second string right tackle guarantees a win, and you're saying, well, okay, that's going to make the news story, bro.
The only guarantee is the post-game Popeyes trip.
Yeah, if the Broncos win, this game, it's going to be 6-3. It's going to be an ugly game if the Broncos
a
win
slog.
it. If the Patriots win it, I'm thinking 24-3 Patriots. I'm thinking Peyton Manning is either going to get shut down or he's going to get shut down, but their defense is going to shut down Tom Brady and they're going to kick a couple field goals.
Okay, well, Chad has weighed
No
in.
respect. None at all.
None.
No respect, Danny. We both picked under 50% this season, so we should get no respect.
I mean, technically, everyone but Joaquin has picked under 50%.
Well, Joaquin knew when to retire. And he has retired. I'd like to officially announce Joaquin Nagel is on an island somewhere sipping a pina colada.
Unlike Peyton Manning, who should have retired.
Who should have... I mean, maybe he's about to be in the Super Bowl.
He could have had a Brett Favre Vikings year.
Yeah, he's a win away from the Super Bowl.
His defense carried him through most of this season.
Doesn't matter. He's still here.
Yeah, I'd be
I'm
there.
just saying, though, do you think the Broncos offense have less going for them than the Chiefs did? Because they certainly have a better defense, a way better defense.
And I think their offense is fine. I mean, the running game looked pretty good last week against Pittsburgh. They have a couple of dynamic receivers. Running backs can catch balls out of the backfield. They're going to move the ball. The problem is they need to get balls in the end zone. They stalled out a lot for field goals last week. They didn't score a touchdown until the fourth quarter. That's probably not going to hold up against the Patriots. So that would be the concern, is that they get down the field, but they settle for field goals. All right, next game.
Field goals might be enough, and with 3.5 points, I like it.
I'm with you, man. I'm with you. All right, next game, NFC Championship. Carolina Panthers against the Arizona Cardinals. The spread is Carolina -3. Tory.
It's the MVP Bowl.
Yeah, I don't think Carson Palmer has a legit chance to win the MVP.
I think if the Cardinals make it to the Super Bowl and win, he stands a chance, but it's got to be Cam. Cam and Cam love the kids.
Didn't they already vote?
Yeah, I think they vote before the playoffs. I don't know if Tory knew that, but the voting's probably already in, or at least mostly in, and it's not supposed to color. Playoffs are not supposed to color who you think the MVP is. So it's going to be Cam Newton.
It's gotta be Cam.
But I see your point, and you're taking the real MVP, Kevin Durant's mom?
I was really torn because we can talk all day about how good Cam Newton is, but so is his offensive line. His offensive line is like the unsung heroes of the Panthers.
They're not the ones that eat all the
unsung hero
donuts,
of
right?
every team.
Yeah, but I mean, everyone's been focusing on Cam Newton and no one's focusing on the offensive line. But their defense and secondaries are beat to hell, and the Cardinals have a defense that shouldn't have too much trouble. Too much trouble covering Greg Olsen.
Mm-hmm. What about no Honey Badger though?
No Honey Badger.
No Bené Benwickery for the Cardinals, or for the
Who?
Bené Benwickery, San Jose State's
Bless you.
finest. He's the second. He's the corner for the
Bené
Benwickery. Learn the name. He's great. He's great. Got to get him out there.
Is David Ben Gurion? Is that his name?
No, it's not. I wish Harry Rowan Gardner.
Rosenbaga. I'm gonna go next. I'm gonna take Carolina -3. I think this game's a total coin flip. I like Arizona's ability to throw the ball downfield. I like John Brown ripping off the top of the defense. I like the rejuvenated Larry Fitzgerald and the, I guess, semi-rejuvenated Carson Palmer. But Cam Newton just finds a way to get it done. Whether he's running the ball for 7 yards through 13 dudes, I don't even know how there were 13 dudes on the field, but it happened. Or making that key pass in the red zone. He's just been there all season.
Or Superman flipping into the end zone.
Or oh man,
Power of the Panthers.
He's so good. Danny, where do you land on this one?
I'm going Panthers -3. I think that, again, the Cardinals have a high-powered offense, but Josh Norman and, Peanut Tillman?
Peanut's hurt.
Peanut's hurt. Well, Josh Norman... Josh Norman's gonna be effective against either John Brown or Michael Floyd, and Luke Kuechly, I guess, against Larry Fitzgerald.
That'd be tough for the Keeks.
I think the Panthers have the pieces to not stifle Arizona, but at least slow them down, and Cam is going to be able to score.
I'm changing my pick.
I'm taking the Panthers.
I'm changing my pick. I'm going with the Cardinals just to keep hope alive that I can cash in and win this whole thing over the both of you. Because I didn't really know who to pick in that game anyway, and I still get to hedge my bets next week if we come back and say, oh, Carolina won by 30. And I was like, see, I wanted to pick them. Now I get to win either way. And that's how it's done. Chad, what do you think?
I'm going with the Cardinals. I think that their ability to throw the ball downfield, plays right into the Panthers' strong suit with their secondary. But I do think that that's, it only takes one or two shots down the field going through to open up a 14-point lead. That could be pretty quick. Cam Newton has looked like the MVP. I will give him that. But I think that Carson Palmer, I think he's going to win out in this Sunday. So that's who I'm going with. I'm hoping for a Patriot. That'd be cool. Patriots-Cardinals Super Bowl.
The COJ on my side. No, I'm actually excited for it.
It would be.
Oh, it's going to be a fun
It'd be
game.
rough to watch an NFC West team play at Levi's for the Super Bowl. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, that'd be pretty terrible for anyone who roots for the Niners.
That'd be rough.
Like a couple people on this panel. What's the ideal Super Bowl matchup for you guys?
I want to see Panthers-Patriots.
Really?
Yeah.
Again?
Patriots.
That was my favorite one growing up that I can remember watching. Probably the first one I can remember watching.
Oh my God.
Cam versus Brady. Like the
Passing of the torch.
tactician versus Superman. It'll be fun to watch.
The Tactician, is that Tom Brady's name?
I could get behind
The
that.
Golden Boy.
The Golden Boy.
It's the
Yeah.
Tom Terrific. Touchdown Tom.
Yeah.
I know Danny loves Touchdown
If
Tom.
he went to Notre Dame, he would
Touchdown
really be
Tom.
the Golden Boy. California to
I love
Notre
Touchdown
Dame.
Tom, and I love Touchdown Tom, and I know not to count him out.
Never count out Touchdown Tom. I think my ideal Super Bowl always involves Peyton Manning. And I'd really have him play the Patriots if that were possible. But I think ideally I would want to see Cardinals-Broncos because I feel bad about the Kurt Warner, Larry Fitzgerald Cardinals. They got that crazy play, couple of crazy plays against the Steelers. Like First of all, that James Harrison run back for 99 yards or whatever it was, and then Santonio Holmes' miracle catch in the corner. I feel like they kind of deserve to win that Super Bowl, and it would have gotten Kurt Warner into the Hall of Fame. He would have been a first ballot Hall of Famer with a Super Bowl title in that one. And I feel bad that he's not in because he definitely deserves it. So I'm going to root for the Cardinals and the Broncos to make the Super Bowl, but there really are no teams that I don't want to watch. You know, I kind of don't like the Patriots, but they're fun to watch. Gronk, anytime doing Super Bowl related media, when he did that video with Marshawn Lynch where they went on Conan and played Mortal Kombat. If you haven't seen that, that is 9 minutes of Gronk and Marshawn peak performance, and it's mostly Marshawn, but Gronk has a couple good lines too. So I'm excited about whatever plays out, and I'm excited to beat Tory after we go toe to toe. And you're off next week, right?
I'm off next week. I'm going to go see a movie that I'm in.
Cool. Producer Tory.
Producer Tory has such a hard life.
Terrible. All right, Danny, what are your plans this weekend? You going to hang out with me?
I'm going to hang out with you. Maybe we could even record a podcast in person.
Yeah, it'd be a good time. Get some Giants pod down. Well, thanks for coming on, my man. Finish up your work week strong. Get that lawyering done. Watch a lot of, what's that Tom Cruise movie where he's the lawyer?
The Firm?
No, the other one. Military lawyer.
Show Me the Money?
Jerry Maguire.
Lawyers,
that's the one.
Lawyers, agents, they're all schemers. Okay, Danny, we can follow you at Giants Pod. Thanks for coming on.
A Few Good Men is
A
where we
Few
were
Good
going
Men.
with
Thank you.
You can't handle the truth.
I can handle the truth, and I'm going to see Danny on Friday. We'll talk to you soon, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
No problem, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Wait, who did I pick? Go.
That's how Danny's going to go out, because he couldn't remember who he picked, and he just did it 2 minutes ago. All right, our last segment of the show today. Before we get there, remember, you can catch our show on iTunes if you aren't listening there already. Coach's Decision. It's going to be on YouTube as well. Please stream us. Give us a listen. We really appreciate all of your ears. Also, if you want to support the show, go to Coach's Decision, KSCO.com, and click through for some links to Fanatics.com and FansEdge.com. They have underpriced NFL, MLB, NBA merchandise. It's all good-looking stuff, and it's 20, 30, even 40% off sometimes. But make sure you click through our website so they can show us some love when you buy your merch. All right, Tori, you're still here.
I am still here.
And you have a piece of paper in front of you.
I do have a piece of paper.
It's not an Excel spreadsheet.
It is not a spreadsheet, so it's not the picks.
It's not the picks. No, I figure you did everything in an Excel spreadsheet because that's the way your brain works.
I do love spreadsheets.
Where's the large white dough, Tori? Work joke. Go ahead. Drop some knowledge.
So, during a press conference, Amir Johnson briefly forgets that he plays for Boston, not Toronto.
Okay.
At one point, Amir
briefly,
accidentally refers to the Raptors as us before correcting himself and asking if anyone has questions about Boston.
He does, apparently. I mean, it's like when my dad cycles through all three of our names, you know, when trying to call for the kids or, you know, forgetting who you're talking to on the phone. It just happens with age, but he's still a young man.
My mom frequently forgets which daughter she's told what to,
well,
which results in us getting told things multiple times.
Does she live with one of them?
Yeah. But sometimes she'll tell me something via email or text, and she's like, I can't remember which one I tell you things to.
It shouldn't be that hard. But no, I feel bad for NBA journeymen or like sports journeymen because, man,
Team I on this year?
Yeah. Especially if you don't play as much. I know Amir gets some run in Boston, but you can just kind of mentally coast.
I don't even know what to say about that. Forgetting the team, forgetting the city you live in. Like,
just look outside.
What has to go into that? Like, you really got to be in a state of mind to not remember what team you... Anyway, yeah.
Toronto's real nice, I guess. If you still think you live there, even if you live in a provincial, cold town like Boston.
Well, I mean, Toronto's pretty cold. He probably just didn't notice a change. He just...
Snow. Where do you live? Snow. All right, Tori.
Darius Fleming of the Patriots saves woman from burning car by kicking through her car window and pulling her to safety.
This sounds a lot like that whole, what was it, Josh Shaw with USC where he jumped and saved and broke both of his ankles trying to save his nephew or something.
In a pool, yeah.
Or Vince Wilfork while he was on the Patriots pulling a woman from a car. Patriots are currently 100% on Super Bowl wins where they pull a woman from a car.
So are you saying that Bill Belichick perhaps set a woman's car on fire and sent one of his... No, that's ridiculous.
The best damn coach I've ever seen.
to boost morale.
Well, and we definitely have video because he does film everything, so we would have footage of that. But no, that's miraculous. Good on these players for being good community members. There was a UFC fighter, John Jones, who got a purse, tackled a purse snatcher or whatever.
God, that's a bad time to snatch a purse. That's an awful time.
When a 6'5", 220-pound dude who can hit roundhouse kicks at a drop of a hat to steal a purse while he's there. And his brother's playing the NFL too. I think one of them even for the Patriots, Chandler Jones, who's in a little bit of a pickle himself. Chandler Jones, because he ended up in the police department, shirtless on his knees. Screaming about the government or whatever it was.
Shout out Chandler Jones.
He smoked some synthetic marijuana, which is apparently legal because it's not a controlled substance.
That sounds safe.
But
had a bad reaction.
It makes you
wound
flip
up in the
out.
emergency room.
Just listen for the regular Chandler Jones. He's a Cleveland Browns practice squad wide receiver, San Jose State. He's coming. He's coming. Just wait.
All right, we're going to play a game. We're going to play 6 Degrees of San Jose State with Chad Oakland-Jolin.
You got to sneak him in there. They're not really sneaking
four
anymore,
moves,
but
guys.
anyways.
4 moves. All right, Tori.
So you'll like this because what's one of your favorite basketball sayings? Ball don't lie.
Oh, ball don't lie. It's like hot dog.
A recent study found that NBA players' accuracy from unfairly awarded free throws is unusually low compared to free throws awarded for real fouls.
Oh, so they look at phantom calls?
Yeah.
And then the free throws don't go in?
Yeah. Ball don't lie. Actual truth.
Rasheed Wallace is an American hero. His bald spot should be in the Smithsonian. His jersey should be hanging up in every underappreciated kid's locker because he is an amazing basketball player. He intentionally got technicals on a level that Boogie Cousins can't even approach. And Ball Don't Lie is just a great fantasy sports team name. It's a good quote board thing to throw up. And I'm glad that there's a basketball god out there not rewarding flopping, not rewarding hacking or whatever. So I'm glad that's true. I play pickup basketball, so there's no free throws, but I do appreciate when they miss.
Yeah, no, that's funny that actually ends up that way. That's something that I definitely wouldn't expect. You'd think free throws would just be free throws. But
yeah, I guess if you feel like you don't deserve the free throws, or
it's just subconsciously you know that you kind of I don't really deserve these ones. Well,
karmic retribution.
Yeah,
your heart starts pumping all crazy.
Yeah, we'll get into the biometrics as soon as these guys are all suited up with their bio suits that they're all going to be wearing eventually. Because when you have guys you pay $25 million to, you want to know every resting heart rate, every impulse in their body and what it's doing and why. And that's going to be a scary way to watch sports.
Yeah, just know everything about them, know their vital signs and all that while they're running up and down the court.
And DeAndre Jordan will still be missing free throws. Tori?
Ron Rivera bans hoverboards from Panthers locker rooms.
Thank goodness.
And the compound.
Well, I saw what happened to Mike Tyson. You can go down in a hurry on those things.
How big are football players? You don't want to fall from that. That's like 200 pounds coming down.
See, I like Ball Don't Lie. I also like Big Tree Fall Hard.
Big Tree Fall Hard.
I also like Don't Hoverboard because they're dumb.
Ron Rivera is like the Panthers buzzkill dad. I kind of love it.
Riverboat Ron. I love Riverboat Ron.
As he was being interviewed talking about it, he's like, I caught them drag racing in the frickin' hallway.
Well, I mean, as a football coach, you are dad. Because most of these guys are under 30. I don't know if they went to San Jose State or not, but 53 kids.
I just wonder what Greg Popovich says if someone comes through hoverboarding.
I can't even keep Cassius under control. He's always behind the glass dancing and moving and doing all kinds. He's not there now. I'm pointing. He was earlier. But
do you know what he came in singing?
What?
He came in, oh my God, it was like some terrible old Puff Daddy song and dancing to it in like a high-pitched voice.
Imagine a bunch of 22 to 25-year-olds with unlimited energy, runner's highs, fast food in their belly. Like, they're going to do ridiculous things like hoverboard. And were they drag racing on the hoverboards?
Yeah, they were drag racing on the hoverboard.
That just sounds like a good time.
Is that considered drag racing? You hate hoverboards.
I do hate hoverboards, but I mean,
they're not
I've
hoverboards,
also never
they
used
have
them.
wheels.
Yeah.
And they don't work on water.
It's funny they finally just stopped trying to develop them. We're like, well, we'll just call them hoverboards and see if it works.
We'll put little lights that shine on the ground underneath it. It'll be fine.
The
totally
hover is implied. You have to go that extra step to convince yourself.
There's a great video of John Calipari on one of those too. He doesn't fall, but he's screaming before he even gets on. He's hopefully on this, screaming, looking around. And I think the caption was just "old people shouldn't do this" or something to that effect.
Any way to get recruits. And we could talk about what that article we saw before we went on the show of Jim Harbaugh in a tree of a recruit's house.
Jim Harbaugh has some great recruiting tactics.
He's at this kid's house, and the little sister of the kid says, "I bet you can climb that tree." And so he does.
Yeah, Jim Harbaugh's he's a real good guy.
He ends up in someone's backyard tree.
He stayed at a recruit's house to try and convince the number 1 kicker to get away from Penn State and come to Michigan. He's just, it's awesome though, because you definitely don't see Nick Saban climbing anybody's tree or staying at anybody's house.
Harbaugh should have got a better punter, because that was what cost him this past season, was that play against Michigan State. All right, Tori, you got a couple more minutes.
DeRozan and Lowry hang out with each other during a series of post-game interviews. DeRozan compliments Lowry on his smell from behind, sniffing him, sneaking around from behind, and says, "Man, you smell good."
That's another example of young men with way too much energy.
And Lowry teaches DeRozan how to count when DeRozan's trying to talk about how he wants to be 3-1, and he's like, "Man, you only played 2 games." Trying to figure out, he's like, "Well, we're 2-1 right now." And he's like, "Yeah, 2-1. What's 2 plus 1? 3. He's like, "I'm talking about tonight's game too." And he's like, "All right."